Okay, so this is going to be probably the last video I make for this class, 131, Section 2, Spring of 2016. For a lot of you, I know you've got a lot riding on this exam, so I just want to make this short video, if only to help you kind of guide your studies for this last exam. And I thought that the first thing I would do is just walk you through the settings that I make for the exam. That way you know what to expect when you're taking it. But it's not going to be too different from what you've seen before. So this is going to be an exam that you'll have 3 hours to complete, 180 minutes. This is the title of what you'll see when you take the exam. It's got to be taken between May 2nd at 8 a.m., May 4th at 11 p.m. I'll be probably quite strict on these dates. There's not a lot of wiggle room on this because I actually leave for the mainland on the 6th. So to give me enough time to get grades in and to have everything computed, I really do need everyone to have this exam done in that period of time. So you'll see that this is when the chapter or the exam will then show up as something that's available. It'll show up at 8 a.m. It'd then be due on the 4th at 11 p.m. Now this is a comprehensive exam. That means it's covering every chapter that we have dealt with in this class. That would be chapters 1 through 4, 8 through 11, and 13 through 16. And in this case, same as before, there's always partial credit for the questions that do have multiple parts. And similarly for exams, you do only have the one attempt. You do have to do this exam in one session, so plan ahead for that kind of thing. You will have 180 minutes, and you'll see the time showing during the exam. And the results will not show to you when you've completed the exam. They will show after 11 p.m. On the 4th is when things will start to become available for you to see your individual performance on it. Then, as these things kind of go, try to avoid getting into freak-out mode because all you're going to see is the raw score. That means that I then have to go in, find out what the curve is, look over everything, make sure that everything's good, and then I'll start to work on grades. As I did with the other exams, I will then send each person an individual email that outlines your final, well, your grade on this final, as well as your final letter grade for this course. But the way that I do it is that I send you the email with at least a day or two difference before I actually file the final grades. And I do that because I'm human. I make mistakes. Maybe my econ lab says you missed all the assignments, when in fact you did all the assignments, it just didn't record it. Odd things happen. That's why I send the email. I send the email because I don't want you to have to get a final letter grade on your, that you go into MyUH, you see your final letter grade, and you're like, geez, how did I get that? Like, I don't even know how that professor even arrived at that letter. That's what my email is intended to do. Tell you how I got that letter. It's not really, it doesn't take me long to do, but I hope it does give you kind of some insight into why you got the grade that you got, why you earned what you earned. So again, this exam, the best way to study for this exam, similarly to how you studied for the other exams, look primarily at the MyEconLab questions. It is what I print out and what I look at when I'm making this exam. So, you obviously have notes and other things that are available to you while you're taking this exam, but given the time period, as you know, it can get kind of tight, and you're not going to have a chance to look everything up. Now, the other question would be, how long do you have, right? In this case here, sorry, just have to go back in and assign it. And you're going to see here that there are 70 questions. The computer, at least at this point, estimates that this is going to take about 90-some minutes to complete. These are questions that both I make, and as well as I draw some inspiration from my econ lab, like what the questions are there. So I make some questions, and some I actually literally lift and take from the questions, the homework questions that you've done already. The computer then has some sort of algorithm where it determines how many minutes it should approximately take you. It's estimating that it should take you about half the time I am allotting to you. So I am basically giving you enough time to look up things, but you probably would not have enough time to look up everything. Okay, so that's the best kind of preparation I can kind of give you for this exam. We do have the 2 review sessions later this week. That would be, the first session would be on the 28th from 6 to 7 p.m. And then on the 29th from 2 to 3 p.m. For both of those, come to my office and we'll figure out where we're going to go from there. Okay, so I hope that helps you kind of prepare yourself mentally for the exam. But again, this exam is May 2nd to the 4th. It'll become available at 8 a.m. on the 2nd, and we'll close May 4th at 11 p.m. Don't wait till last minute. Do it somewhere in this 2-day time period. Okay.